You're realizing you're healing when you remember that you weren't thinking about the person. Heal from grief. How do we heal from the guilt and the shame? So let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back to Sack Talk with Anna. So in today's video, I want to talk about the grief that both women who experienced miscarriage and abortion feel. And I know this can be a political topic, which I don't think it should be, honestly, and I don't want to make it political. I just want to give you the facts of how therapists should approach women who have experienced either an abortion or a miscarriage, and how we are supposed to leave our opinion behind. We're not supposed to tell people what to do, what choices to make, or what we think about their decision, because that's not going to be helping them in any way. Because therapy is not about shaming. Therapy, it's not about imposing your decision or your ideas or political background or culture onto the individual or your client. Therapy, it's literally to help people discover the strength that they already have inside of them and they may not know that they have it. And therapy is a partnership. A therapist shouldn't be an authority figure. The therapist should be at the same level as the client. So this video is both for therapists and people in general, clients who have experienced a miscarriage, abortion, or they are curious about the topic. First of all, why am I talking about abortion and miscarriage? So I'm talking about it because many people believe that only women who go through a miscarriage experience grief, but in reality also women who experience an abortion may go through grief. I also want to talk about the fact that women who go through a miscarriage, not only they may experience grief, but they may also experience guilt and shame, because unfortunately as humans, we try in any way possible to find a way to blame ourselves for what happens, right? So a woman that might have experienced a miscarriage may believe that they may have eaten something that might have caused a miscarriage, or maybe they did a physical activity that may have caused a miscarriage, even though it's most likely there are other reasons. And even though the doctor may tell them, hey, it's not your fault, this happened because of this medical reason and it was inevitable, the mother might still feel like it was her fault. Of course, if you're doing heavy drugs, I don't even have to go there. So I wanted to also touch on the fact that some women who do an abortion, they do feel grief, but they still believe that that was the best decision that they could have made for that specific period of time because of whatever they were going through, whether it's poverty or maybe the boyfriend just left them because of the pregnancy or whatever it was that they were going through. Even though they feel maybe guilt and shame and grief, they still believe that that was the best decision to make at that time. But how then do we heal from grief? How do we heal from the guilt and the shame? So let's get into it. And many women who go through an abortion or miscarriage, they may not know that they actually are going through grief. They may have experienced numbness for a year, and they may think, oh, why am I not feeling sad or happy or any emotion at all? My life is well, my life is going fine, but for some reason I can't feel joy. And that is grief. That's one of the signs of grief. It's numbness from all the painful thing that you may experience, right? And so the first thing to do is to actually recognize they're going through grief. When we're able to name whatever we're going through, whether it's depression, anxiety, in this case grief, then we're able to move on, because now you know what you have, right? Let's say you have experienced 1 year of numbness and then you realize, oh, it's because I was grieving. Now you know, and you are able to move on. So the first step is to actually name it. Name whatever you're going through. The next thing to do will be writing a letter to baby that is not with you anymore. Write down all the emotions, all the feelings that come up to you in that moment, your worries, your hopes, anything that you have experienced. And once you write everything down in a piece of paper, it almost seems like everything you needed to say, it has been said, and now you can move on. And you can either burn the letter or keep it, whatever you feel like. Or what you can do a mini funeral so that you and your loved ones can grieve together. Because that's the thing about grief. We want to experience grief with other people. We want to feel understood by other people, and we need other people to know what we're going through. And so sometimes people who experience a miscarriage or abortion, they do not want to share with other people, their personal information and whatever they are going through, and that's normal and it's understandable. But I just want you to understand that if you share that information with people who you trust and you feel comfortable with, you will feel so much better. Again, the first step is naming it that you're grieving. The second step is writing a letter, creating a mini funeral. The third step will be sharing it with people who you trust, that you have experienced something very stressful in your life. And then the last thing I will say is that patience is key. It will get better with time. The role of a therapist is not to judge, is not to tell the client, oh, you should have, or you should do this. The role of the therapist is to help the client process the grief. After you do all the things that I've mentioned, you will start seeing how you're healing little by little. The way you know you're healing is, let's say you're going about your day, and then all of a sudden you remember, oh, I had a miscarriage or I had an abortion. And the fact that memory just popped up, it means that you weren't thinking about it every single day, every hour, which means that you're actually moving on. When you remember that you're not thinking about it. Because one thing that people will experience with grief is, of course, thinking about the deceased person, right? 24/7. And you might have nightmares and you can't fall asleep because of the nightmares and etc. And so you're realizing you're healing when you remember that you weren't thinking about the person. Let's say you're taking a walk and every little thing is just reminding you of the deceased person, right? Maybe for a person who has experienced the miscarriage or the abortion, is just seeing a child, walking with her mother, and you're just thinking about, oh, if the miscarriage didn't happen, I will have a baby right now, And so if those thoughts stop coming up, they don't have to completely stop because it's something that you have gone through, and so maybe they will never stop completely, but most of the time they will stop, or you won't think about it every time you see a child. And so if that happens to you, that you stop thinking about your own experience when you see a child, that means that you're actually healing from grief. And so yeah, this is the end of the episode. I hope you liked it, and I hope it's going to be helpful for you if you are experiencing grief from either a miscarriage, abortion, or whatever has happened to you that made you feel grief. If you like this episode, subscribe to my channel, put a like, and thank you for watching.